Rocco, an old cartoon isn't going to solve the kinds of problems you have.
We are in the midst of the streaming wars, as every big production company aims to capture the largest viewing audience, and a big piece of their wallet as well. This means that Netflix is not just reaching out to develop top-notch family programming, but directly to the nostalgic parents looking to share the same content they enjoyed as kids with children of their own. Enter the reboot.
Okay, Furface, but don't say I didn't warn you.
And Netflix has found a great partner among them all by teaming up with Nickelodeon to revive some of your favorite 90s cartoons along with a slew of other shows. Learn about these cartoons, some possibilities for the future, and a pair of angry beavers who could easily chomp their way back into our lives. As the land of reboots continues to grow and prosper in the world of Hollywood, it was only inevitable that Nickelodeon would join in on the mix. Instead of sandwiching reboots between episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants and A Loud House, the network decided to team up with Netflix to unleash some of our childhood favorites for a whole new generation. For kids growing up in the 90s, Nicktoons were everything. The expansion of shows included hits like Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy. Then programming expanded as we enjoyed more hits like Ah Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, Rocket Power, and Rocko's Modern Life. Each show had its own unique style, which helped build the foundation for Nickelodeon and still sees its influence on the airwaves today. As streaming services look to gain viewers, the reboot has been a key strategy for everything from Hulu to Netflix and Amazon Prime. Netflix has found major success with shows like Fuller House, and now the reboot world is expanding to Nick cartoons. Interestingly, Netflix was one of the main streaming platforms for Nick content like SpongeBob SquarePants, but their relationship ended in 2012, and now Nick shows stream on other services. But it seems like the two companies are coming full circle in a big way. Netflix is the main source of the new Rocko's Modern Life reboot entitled Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling. The reboot acts as a one-off special rather than an actual series, but you could almost view the show as a new pilot. If the streaming numbers satisfy Netflix enough, the streaming giant could end up ordering the show to a whole new series. Other than the modern day setting, the show itself looks almost exactly like the original, pushing the comedy boundaries and causing so many memories to flood back for viewers. And just when you thought the Nick nostalgia train was about to derail, Netflix released another reboot, Invader Zim Enter the Florpus.
Wow, cool! That is awesome!
Once again, the show features the same animation style that made the original possible, and pairing these two together within the same release month could be a huge success for Netflix. One of the key parts of moving forward with these reboots is bringing back the original production team on board. These shows are not simply taking the property and retooling them. They're bringing all the elements that helped them work in the first place. Another Nick show coming to Netflix in the near future? Avatar: The Last Airbender. But this one will not be created in a typical animated style as the original. It's a new attempt at a live-action adaptation after the Nick movie didn't fare so well back in 2010. With very little details beyond a piece of concept art, it's still a step in the right direction and showcases more of Netflix's dedication to reviving a lot of our favorite classic Nick shows. Along with Avatar: The Last Airbender, Nickelodeon was distributing and airing multiple seasons of another anime show, The Winx Club. The group of fighting fairies proved to be popular among many, and it looks like Netflix is dipping into the remake realm with this cartoon as well. And much like Avatar, the new Winx Club will ditch the cartoon format for live action, possibly including adult themes and darker messages aimed for everyone but a younger crowd. Basically, rumors have come out that the new Winx Club will take a lot of influence from the Harry Potter series, maybe even dropping the iconic wings on the characters. Time will tell how the series develops and stays true to its roots. So yeah, Netflix has already tackled 4 of our favorite cartoons, but what else could we see popping up on the streaming giant over the next few years? Let's take a look. What about the OG Nicktoons, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, and Doug? Well, a Rugrats remake is already on the way at Nick, and they probably want the ratings bonanza that will come with some new adventures featuring Tommy, Chucky, Angelica, and the other tots. Netflix does have some streaming rights to their movies though, so a drop of the reboot after it airs on TV isn't out of the question. Doug's first couple of seasons were on Nick, but Disney officially owns the rights now, so that's a no-go. And Ren and Stimpy already tried the whole revival thing before it was cool to do so. Their Spike TV show wasn't as popular and probably won't be a franchise Nick returns to anytime soon. Ouch. So the original 3 are no-goes, but there's no need to worry. There are so many more options, so let's look at our favorite and more realistic possibilities.
How hard could it be to scare the pants off an 8-year-old?
First up, Real Monsters. The same production team behind Rugrats helped create the surreal world of toenail collecting monsters, and an updated version of Ickis and the other monsters could not only provide a lot of fun, but have some significant modern day messages as well. The dark themes of the show and fun character designs could be fleshed out in a similar way to Rocko's Modern Life and would make an ideal special for any time around Halloween. And from monsters to some little critters, specifically the Angry Beavers. Oh man, I love that show! The show abruptly ended on Nickelodeon, and there are plenty more adventures for our pals Norbert and Daggett. Much like Rocko's Modern Life, this series would do well as an extended special or made-for-television movie. Other shows they could take on also include Rocket Power, The Wild Thornberrys, and The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. With all three of those shows featuring human characters, Netflix could reboot them featuring older characters, or at least showcase some of their views in the modern-day era. And Nick cartoons are not the only realm Netflix has taken on. Some of Nick's most beloved live-action shows are a part of the reboot mix as well. The original series No Good Nick featured cast member Melissa Joan Hart dressed as her Clarissa Explains It All character, kind of hinting at a future reboot, which has been talked about for a while now. During the 90s, Nickelodeon aired a syndicated version of the Babysitters Club TV show, and now Netflix is producing their own series based off the popular children's books. So look, basically, if you grew up in the 90s watching Nick, you have a lot of content to binge in the next few years or so.
Easy.
But wait, there's more! Netflix is not just reaching into the nostalgia pool of Nick shows from the 90s. In recent months, they've dipped into other shows from both the 90s and the 80s. The most prominent releases include the animated series Carmen Sandiego, featuring the voice of Gina Rodriguez, and She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. The streaming network even took on a reboot of the show literally entitled Reboot with their release of Reboot the Guardian Code. Well, let's not talk about that one. So Netflix is ready to expand the nostalgia train way beyond just Nick shows, and our mind is blown with the multiple possibilities. There are so many 90s cartoons we would love to see again. With Disney focused on their own streaming platform, a big chunk of these revivals are eliminated from the get-go. There will be no Tailspin, Pepper Ann, or Recess appearing on Netflix anytime soon, but a Disney Plus premiere is not out of the realm of possibility. And with HBO Max under the Warner Brothers umbrella, cartoon series like Beetlejuice, Animaniacs, and Batman the Animated Series are a big no-go for Netflix. But no worries, there are plenty of shows that Netflix could revive and give a whole new audience to. One of our favorite options? Street Sharks.
This is an historic moment!
The show oozes 90s, with humans who were transformed into talking sharks and would go on some crazy adventures. Sure, it's pretty much a knockoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the show was a fun watch and led to several great toy lines for children. A modern-day effort could make the Street Sharks relevant again and even feature the classic animation style. Similar to Street Sharks is the show Biker Mice from Mars. Just the title alone already has our attention, and the series ran for 3 seasons back in the 90s. These two shows would actually pair well together if they got released at the same time. And the revival game is not just on TV and the movies either. It's in the aisles of our favorite stores. Take for example a 1990s sensation like Creepy Crawlers. Not only were kids making little plastic bugs all the time, but there was an actual cartoon based off the product. If planned right, the bug-making device and Netflix could team up for a product and cartoon reboot that would entertain the 6 to 10 age range. Even something quirky like Bobby's World could find a home on Netflix. For years now, Howie Mandel has expressed interest in bringing back his show, and 8 seasons of Little Bobby's Adventures aired on Fox back in the 90s. Netflix used to have streaming rights to Bobby's World and may be able to get them back again if they took on a revival series. We can already see it now, Bobby's Modern World. The big wheel he loved to pedal around on would be replaced with a hoverboard he rides around on with ease.
Hoverboard.
That's just one idea, Howie Mandel. You can contact us for some others when you're done watching the video.
Oh, great Scott!
Netflix is also diving into the world of original animation as well, and a number of these shows harken back to 90s nostalgia. For example, there's Matt Groening's Disenchanted, which feels like a classic episode of The Simpsons or Futurama blended together. Netflix also worked alongside Nickelodeon to release the original series Pinky Malinki. For animation fans, the mix of reboots and original content is amazing news. The company is literally investing hundreds of millions of dollars into just animation, which could create a whole big boom of shows. This means that not everything will be a huge release like Rocko's Modern Life, and Netflix has a little wiggle room to play around with content they produce. For example, they could take on a 90s cartoon that wasn't so popular and give it new life again. Who remembers the 1996 series Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys? Yeah, us either. But the concept about adventurous monkeys in outer space could work on Planet of the Apes levels and would be a great CG series for Netflix to take on. There's also the forgotten syndicated Nicktoon The Brothers Flub. With gross-out gags, aliens, and some weird comedy, the series could be retooled for a modern audience and people wouldn't even know it was a reboot. Netflix is already producing a Jurassic World animated series, but younger children may benefit from a more suitable series like Dink, the Little Dinosaur. The show ran for 2 seasons and featured a collection of stories following a young dinosaur. No, not Land Before Time, a similar but different cartoon. Either way, Netflix has really hit their target audience with these 90s reboots. A number of kids who grew up in the 90s are in their late 20s and 30s. Not only are they still chowing down on cereal on Saturday morning for old time's sake, that comes from a place of experience, by the way, but a lot of them have children of their own. Sharing the original shows with their children is one thing, but experiencing the new reboot together adds a whole other element to it. And as long as we keep returning to these reboots, they will continue to get made and showcased. With a seemingly good working relationship with Nickelodeon in recent months, Netflix could become the new home of your childhood favorites. Whew, that is a lot of cartoon streaming to look forward to. Which shows are you the most excited about? Which ones are must-see? Did you enjoy the Rocko's Modern Life reboot? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Screen Rant for more great animation content.